gentlemen, on the guest list today, for the first time ever, my LA hat actually makes sense because we have a West Coast legend in the building today. A pioneer, a rapper, a rock and roll Hall of Famer, actor, and founder of the Big Three Basketball League. We got Ice Cube on the podcast today. Ice, how are you?
Yeah, what's happening with you?
Oh, my God, man. Yo, it's an absolute honor to have you here today, and we have so much to talk about, but obviously we're going to start out with why you're in Chicago, the Big Three. It's a big year for the league. It's the 5th year. You guys are on CBS, Paramount Plus. You got big names joining the league. Did you possibly think in 2017 you guys would be going this high?
We hope so. You know, we didn't just do this to think like, okay, it's going to be a one-year tournament. It's going to be cool, and we're going to have fun. Now, we didn't know if dudes was going to play or not. So that's what we was, like, worried about. We was like, are these dudes actually – are they going to fuck around and do a pickup game? Are they gonna treat it like an all-star game, or are they gonna really play? But Steven Jackson set the tone. He was like, I ain't got no friends here. I'm going at you. You better come at me. We better do this for real. So we was like, okay, they gonna play for real, you know, and we just knew, okay, if they play for real, we got a league that can last, you know. The NBA been here 75 years. We got a league that can last 75 years. You know, we got something that can really snowball if they play for real, and they're playing for real.
And I was there on Saturday. I couldn't make it Sunday. I wanted to go Sunday. It was Father's Day. I had to go do dad shit. But I have always – everybody knows that, and I was telling you this prior to you hopping on, that basketball is like my third, fourth sport. I like basketball. I enjoy watching basketball. I'm not like emotionally indebted to basketball. This style of basketball was so much more entertaining for a casual fan like me because it's super fast-paced.
Yes.
They were actually playing hard. Like, guys were taking charges. Like, it was no bullshit. Like you said, I just assumed, like – I mean, these guys all have millions – a lot of them have millions in their pocket, you know? Why would they need to play 3-on-3 basketball? They were playing their fucking ball sacks off.
Yeah.
And it was fun to watch. It was just one game after the other. Games last about an hour or so.
Yeah.
First to 50, really cool rules, and I enjoyed every second of being there. And now you guys got gambling coming.
Yeah.
So if you are a gambling fan, which I love gambling, it is right up your alley because you're going to be able to bet on so many different things. Like if it's a 15-point game with, you know, a couple points left to score, you only play to 50, you might be able to get a really good value bet because in a handful of possessions, that game could be over on the team that was down 15 side, you know? So I loved it. It was super entertaining. Speaking with Hannah, she said that you guys are selling out like big ass arenas around the country and everything, which is awesome. Testament to what you've built in the last. How old is the league now?
The league is 5 years old.
5 years, yeah.
It would have been 6 years old, but we couldn't have a season in 2020, and it really messed up our momentum. But like you said, you know, the guys, they play hard. You know, I think the rules are very entertaining.
Yes.
To watch. Definitely entertaining for them to play. You know, they love playing our rules. You know, they play hard because they still got that competitive juice. You know, they still got that chip on their shoulder. They still want to, you know, bust players' ass, you know, on the court and do that thing. And they still want to show the world that just because the NBA said they're done, they're not done. You know, basketball, you know, the NBA is great, but they don't own basketball. They play basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You know, basketball is for everybody. And if you still can play, it's not really up to them to say you can't. You know, a lot of our guys play overseas. You see 3 games, you know, in the same amount of time as you can see one NBA game.
Mm-hmm.
So the games are fast. You know, if you are betting, you know, it is like you can see half the league. Well, you can see the whole league in a weekend, and you know, and it's great because at least you know your results. So I just think we got the perfect sport for the perfect time.
Mm-hmm. And it's a social media, and I personally hate social media because I think it's just all negative bullshit. But on the good half of social media, you guys, this is social media like viral sensation, like alley oops and just how quick like backdoor cuts and all that shit. It's built for the social media age. Yeah,
we have 4-point shots in the league, which is who came up with that idea?
Hey, I'm telling you what, the NBA is going to take that from you guys in a few
I
years.
really think they are.
I mean, they should. It's a great thing. But if they do a line, they're making a mistake. We do circles. We do 3-4 point circles because, for one,
I know where you got that. By the way.
yeah, that you know where I got that from.
Rock and Jock.
No, not right.
Where'd you get it from?
No, not Rock and Jack. I got that from the Harlem Globetrotters. Used a 4-point circle for I don't know for a year or two. I don't know, and then they moved to a line, which was a mistake. The circle. The reason why the circle is brilliant because you can defend it.
Right.
You can actually get to the circle at the same time as a guy is trying to get to the circle. And all you need is a toenail to touch the circle for it to be a 4-point shot. So I didn't want people taking 100 4-point shots, you know. I wanted it to be part of strategy, you know, maybe 3-4 a game.
That's
right. Not something where
there was
people
only
are
a couple
hiking up 12 and 13 of those, because when they go in, they great. When they brick, it breaks the glass. So it's manageable with 3-4 point circles, and guys use it. It's brought guys back. With no time clock, you can always come back. There's no garbage minutes because there's no minutes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a 14-second shot clock.
What Dave was touching on with the social media stuff, which you guys are
killing
it with that. The other thing that I wanted to ask is, how did you do such a good job at getting the guys that are involved in the league to buy in and really help push and promote it? Because you guys do such a good job at, leveraging their individual followings to, kind of boost the brand as a whole.
They love the league, for one. They, a lot of them, they walk away from the NBA a little bitter at the NBA because of just the structure and the way things are. We want it to be different. We wanted it to be a player-friendly league for real. The players have a lot of control. Our player captains are basically our GMs. They can pick who they want, them and their coach. Our coaches are Hall of Fame.
Yep.
NBA players like Dr. J and Iceman, George Gervin, Rick Barry, Nancy Lieberman, Gary Payton, Michael Cooper. So we got guys who, they love the NBA. They had their time, but they wasn't really there when the NBA kind of started to blow up and all the money started flowing, So, with the big three, they own a piece of the league, so they're more invested. If the league, does what it's supposed to do, they could definitely, make a lot of money, in success. So I just think they are more invested because – the league is more invested in them.
One thing that I think is really cool that we got to talk about is there's not like a Chicago team and an LA team and a Dallas team or New York team. It's basically a traveling circuit. Mm-hmm. So you're not necessarily you can obviously pick a team, root for them. If you have I'm looking at Three's Company, Julian Wright. He's a Chicago guy. So as soon as I saw Julian, I'm like, that's Julian Wright. He's in this league. That's sweet. He's automatically, I'm like, I want to see what that guy's doing or that team's doing because I got that emotional tie to him. But you got a weekend of entertainment. I don't know if this is a case for all the venues, but UIC Pavilion sells alcohol, cheap alcohol. There you go. If you want to bring the family out for 2 days to get the kids or whatever, dude, this is the way to go. It's the way to go. No doubt about it. You're watching really, really good entertainment.
What we didn't want to connect to cities. Mm-hmm. The co-founder, my partner, Jeff Quinance, we've been, in the trenches for over 25 years together, just trying to figure out this entertainment business. Well, he's from New York, and he dies with the Knicks every year. You know, I'm like, dude.
Yeah, literally.
If you was just from L.A., you would have a better time with basketball. You know what I mean? You would love basketball a little more. So we was like, how many people are connected to teams just because the team is in the city that they live in? And, we're in a world of fantasy. We're in a world of people really following players from team to team. We saw that with LeBron, that you don't have to connect these teams to cities. You want to connect them to fans. And now we're connected to, communities like these NFT communities that are huge with a lot of enthusiasm. And now they are part of the league and their, the synergy that you get from all this talent and all these people from all these different walks of life now injected into the league is great. And so we just felt like it was it's the future, and connecting to cities feels like the past.
I think it's gonna. I don't know how long it's gonna take. I don't want to put a time frame on it, but within the next few years, you guys are gonna be doing very, very well.
Yeah, where do you see the league in 5 years from now?
We want to expand. We got 12 teams now. We'd love to go to 16 and maybe even more by then. We leave a lot of talent on the sideline. We had over 120 players fighting for 22 spots.
Holy shit.
So
Yep.
it's just like an immense amount of talent just waiting to play. They're in our draft pool, and, if somebody get hurt, you go in the pool and pick one of them. But we want more teams to be able to showcase all this talent that, just because you don't make it in the NBA, that don't mean you're not that quality.
Right.
It's a numbers game. And so we would love to do, what we think we can pull off called the Big Cup, which is inviting 3-on-3 teams from all over the world to compete, in kind of like a World Cup, event with the big three rules, so we got big dreams.
Have you guys gotten? I guess they would be technically a competitor right now, but with FIBA.
Not really. That's amateur 3-on-3. We're professional 3-on-3. So, it's like the NBA.
Yeah.
There's like, we don't even look at them as
Okay.
in the same
Cube
league.
on a talent basis, I do have a question, because I'm probably the biggest basketball guy of the podcast, right?
Definitely.
Like, talent wise, because I have one person I think would be fucking absolutely perfect for the big three. Is there like a dream get for you guys? Because mine is Jamal Crawford. I think Jamal Crawford would be an absolute star. in the
He
big
would.
three.
He would.
Yeah, I've been trying to get him for about 4 years now. He has his own Pro-Am tournament that he does in Seattle around the same time as the Big Three, so he hasn't played. At this point, we've been around 5 years. Everybody knows about us, and people that really want to play, that really got that chip on their shoulder, usually find us, at this point. And we do recruit. I do get on the phone and try to get guys to play, but I feel like if I got to chase you, I don't know if that's the guys we want.
Right.
We want the guys that are chasing the league and want to be a part of it, whether they get a call from me or not. We want your game. We don't really care about your name. You know what I mean?
Last question I got on this is, so if you're a recruiting player, like throw out Jamal Crawford, do you just hop on the phone, like cell phone, hey, this is Cube, like come play for me? Like, do you got that amount of sales like behind your name?
Well, I am the best recruiter in the country. I tell you that. I got some of the greatest guys in the world playing in my league. We tee it up a little more than that. I got our guy Thomas Scott, who's Byron Scott's son. He's the head of basketball operations, and he usually gets some kind of indication if a guy is on the fence, and if he is, I'll give him a call and let him know. How he's going to be treated in the Big Three. What they like about our league is you can be yourself. Nobody's going to – these are grown men.
Right. We
ain't getting you when you're a kid. You're a grown man when we get you. So no babysitting. You come in and be yourself. Nobody's going to tee you up for getting emotional.
Well, that's a good way to lead into Kenny's question.
That leads me to my one and only question about the league. What's the weed regulations on players in the Big Three?
What do you mean?
You guys
Well,
drug
like,
testing, piss testing?
We support CBD. We was the first league to allow CBD use in pro sports. Now everybody's doing it. I see Major League Baseball just did it.
Yep.
So, you know, our policy is come play. If you look like you can't play, we won't let you play.
Right, of course. Yeah. That's good to know.
What about steroids? You guys pro steroids?
Not pro steroids, not at all. You know, come ready to play. If you look like you know, Lou Ferrigno, we might pull you to the side and say, "Not today, buddy."
Don't pass me the ball.
Yeah.
All right, so look, we are a music podcast first and foremost, right? And I have just a fucking litany of questions to go.
Come
over
on with
your
it,
career
man.
and-
Come
All right,
on.
good.
with
This
it.
is what the fuck I'm talking about. All right, so first and foremost, like just as a transition out of that, right? Honestly, you could have stayed a rapper, stayed an artist, and just been a legend, and one of the greatest to ever do it. But you diversified. You went into movies. You obviously went into the Big Three. What was the impetus behind going past just music? Was it the split from NWA and the ownership side of things where you were like, maybe I need to rethink this entire situation, or was that always an aspiration of yours?
No, it's all based on creativity. You know, I love to create at a high level. Music is creating at a high level when you're putting out records. And, you know, doing movies is creating at a high level. So it's really about my creative juices and what I want to, you know, creatively be a part of or produce or create. And that's where it all starts from. That's where the diversity comes from. You know, at first I just wanted to be the best rapper in the world. You know, I was satisfied with that. And I met John Singleton in 1989. And he pursued me. Well, I met him in 88, actually. And he pursued me for a couple of years to do Boys in the Hood. And so I did it, and great experience. You know, the movie went to the Cannes Film Festival in France. I didn't think they was going to understand the movie. You know what I mean? I was out in France like, damn. I said, subtitles, John? He's like, yeah, this is going to be subtitles. French subtitles? Yeah. I'm like, damn, man, I ain't going to understand this shit. And we got a standing ovation, you know, and I'm like, whoa, you know, if they love it here, they're going to love it in the States. And so that just got my movie juices going. And so, you know, I had acted in a few movies, but I never found a script as good as Boys in the Hood. And John was like, you're not going to find one as good as Boys in the Hood unless you write one. And I was like, right. He was like, yep. He said, if you can write a rap like that, you can write a movie like that. So that got me on the writing tip. First two movies I wrote were trash. It was three. I wrote a movie called America Eats Us Young, which I got off of a Funkadelic album cover, the name. Then I wrote another movie called Defense. And the third movie I wrote was Friday with DJ Pooh. And then by then I was good enough, you know. The first two I was still trying to get good.
What's harder, writing a rap album or writing a screenplay?
A screenplay, because there's so many, you know, there's disciplines you have to follow to actually, you know, come out with a you know, a screenplay that people can understand. But with a song, you know, it's feeling, it's gut. You know, you can really do it in a day. You can do it in an hour. You can do it in 2 days, a week, you know. But as a good script is going to take you, you know, at least a month, you know, maybe 2-3 months to get it.
Sometimes years even.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes years to get it made. Script, you write it, and you can have it perfect, and it takes years for somebody to see that this is a good movie. Ride Along is a movie that sat for over 10, 12 years before me and Kevin did it. Yeah.
What was the reason for that? You guys just both too busy?
No, New Line Cinema said, this is an action movie, 2 black stars, this won't work. I'm like, what about Bad Boys? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what about Bad Boys? So Kevin, was starting to blow up. I had already worked with Tim Story. Will Packer was coming up as a producer. He had worked with Kevin. And Tim. So we actually just took the movie from New Line, and we was like, well, if you guys don't want to do it, Universal would do the movie. And so they gave it to Universal, and they did the movie, and it made $120 million.
There you go. Rest is history, right?
New Line, come on, man.
I mean, you're always ahead of the curve. You really are. Like, even when you go back to like leaving NWA and you go and work with the Bomb Squad and you work with Public Enemy, like I feel like you always have a vision a little bit down the road. Like, have you always felt that, like, been fearless in that capacity to just say, like, I think this is the right move? People will follow eventually, but I'm going to go do it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes being ahead of the curve is not a good thing, because it's like people think you crazy. And then 3 years later, they be like, "Oh man, that was your best shit." You be like, "Dude, what are you talking about?"
I told you.
Yeah. So sometimes being ahead of the curve is just as bad as being behind the curve. And so, yeah, sometimes I find myself ahead of the curve, but not wanting to actually be there. Like, I wish everybody was right there with me. You know what I mean? At the same time, but it happens, and. You just roll with it. You just figure, okay, either people will catch up or they won't. I started to look at what I do like a painting on the wall. I paint the shit, I put it up there, and I'm gone. Like, if you hate it when you walk by or you love it, that's a personal problem. You know what I mean? I'm like, off to the next. You know what I mean? You got to deal with it. It's there, and.
I got a writing question before I get too far away from writing. It's a well-known fact that you wrote most of, if not all, Easy Stuff and NWA lyrics and stuff like that. I'm curious if you see a lot of ghost writing still in rap and hip hop these days, or if that's kind of tinkered off, because it's still big in rock and alternative and all that stuff and pop. But like, I'm wondering, in the rap and hip hop game, is there still a lot of ghost writing that you see or feel that there's there?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure a lot of it's still going on. I did have help with those records. I got to give a shout out to the DLC and MC Ren, who put in a lot of work. DLC put in more work than he gets credit for on some of, on a lot of that Easy Does It first album. But at the end of the day, it's a part of music. It's not about, with rap, I think you're more respected if you write and, do your own stuff. I think that's a true MC, is somebody who writes and raps. Vocalists, those are, you always gonna have vocalists. So with every type of music, even rap. So some dudes are vocalists, they can say everything right, but they can't write anything. And so to me, when it's about records, it's not about how you get to the final product. It's just all about what comes out the speaker. That's the only thing that matters, is what comes out the speaker.
That seems like something that hasn't changed over 20, 30 years. Is it matters what's coming out the speakers. And to that point, as one of the most notorious old school rappers in the game, there's drill beats and trap hats and all that stuff these days in modern hip hop. Does any of that stuff do anything for you, or does it bug the shit out of you?
Great question.
I mean, it's like hip hop always been. Some of it's great, some of it's trash. I mean, it's been like that since 1979. It's never changed, and that's just music. Mm-hmm. That's all types of music. Some of it's great, some of it's trash, and I feel the same way about my era. I feel the same way about the era after mine, before mine. And, some of it's great, some of it's trash, and and the beat goes on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me at all. You know, everybody has their own era.
When you say your era, though, I mean you're still putting quality stuff out. I mean, this Mount Rushmore, or sorry, Westmore,
Yeah.
which is a great play on words, by the way.
Thank you.
I mean, it's first album on the new Death Row, right?
Yeah, you know, it's a record that we put out in the metaverse. We put it out on Gala Music.
Yep.
And Gala Music has a deal with Death Row.
And it's tied into NFTs, right?
Tied into NFTs because we have, you know, great, interaction with the fans. You know, you get a little extra if you're a part of the NFTs. We're gonna release it in the universe, you know, so the record is gonna come out where everybody can hear it. But right now, it's in the metaverse, and we
think
always
that was
doing
a
something new and
sentence-
fresh.
Do you think that was a sentence you would have ever thought you would say?
Yeah,
You have to
yeah.
release it into the universe and not the metaverse.
I never thought I would have to say that, but that was the only way that we could keep up with what we were doing. We was like, is this metaverse, this universe? Which one we at? Which one we at? It's like, this one metaverse. We got one for the universe. And so, it's a crazy time. But hey, you know, you in entertainment, you better learn how to ride the waves that's coming.
It's back to you always being ahead of the curve, though, and it's not just, I mean, with the music and the movies and the basketball league, but with your music, you've always been, people love to say, you know, experimental, but, you know, you were one of the first rappers to work with, you know, hard rock band like Korn.
Yep.
I have records with you with Paul Oakenfold, Tiesto. I think you guys did a song for like the Blade soundtrack or something.
Yeah.
Like not
Yeah.
like
I got a record with David Bowie too.
yeah. So
I forgot about that. Yeah,
like-
yeah.
So, I mean, nowadays that's kind of like the trendy thing to do, but you were doing this when it was like unheard of. Was that a strategic thing, or were you just like, I don't give a fuck, I'll do whatever sounds good?
I just want to kind of work with creative people. I love creative people, you know, and I seen like people that I respected doing it, you know, like Chuck D working with Anthrax, you know, my man Ice-T. He got his own group with Body Count.
Yeah.
Ice-T, the first person that told me, man, you should do the Lollapalooza tour, you know. If they ask you to do it, do it. Because he's the first rapper to ever do it. And he was like, but he was like, yo, you should do this shit because it's dope. And I was like, man, it's alternative, you know. It was Chili Peppers. It was, you know, Jesus and Mary Chain. It was,
like
Ministry, you know. And so I was like, I'm gonna try it. He was like, yo, you gonna be the alternative to the alternative, man. Just give him a hip hop show. A lot of these people ain't never been, probably ain't never going. So this is your chance to show them what it's all about. And so I started to be cool with a lot of the guys. The Chili Peppers, they came and they was in my Wicked video. I got Flea to play on the record for me, play the bass line for me. Then my guy Jeff started working with Korn, and we hit it off because they had a lot of, hip hop influence in what they was creating. It was a mesh that you really never heard before. So I just wanted to be in on it. I just wanted to do something dope and show that I was, more than a gangster rapper, that I could, rock all crowds, and I can rock even with the rockers, and it's been fun to take my career this way because it didn't pigeonhole
For
me.
sure.
And it
I gotta
opened people's eyes to what I could do.
I gotta say, it's so commendable when artists from two different genres are able to put whatever aside and blend together, because I had the pleasure of touring with your boy Chuck D and Prophets of Rage. I got to open for that first run, and it was Rage Against the Machine with Chuck and B, and the Rage Against the Machine fans, heavy, hard rock, crazy fans, and in the middle of the set, they would leave and just Chuck and Be Real would do their songs in the middle, and it would almost go harder with the same rock crowd. So it's like the fans have always wanted the blend. It's always wanted it to happen, and so when those kind of blends and mixes happen, man, it makes the world happy.
I agree. People, it's nothing like being exposed to something that you never thought you was gonna like. It's kind of like, oh damn, this is crazy. Like going on those tours, family value tours.
Oh yeah.
We was out there with Ramstein and they set themselves on fire. We was like, these motherfuckers crazy. they set themselves on fire on the stage, in the middle of their show. They got all this, liquid, fire retardant shit. It's like, man, you gotta love them.
Seeing guys with Liberty Spike mohawks, headbanging and windmilling, and then Chuck comes out and goes, bass, and they're all just headbanging and raging. Like, it's the most beautiful sight. I love it so much.
Cube, who would you say is like, you're a man of many tastes? Like, if there was one thing that people wouldn't expect you to be listening to, like you're just driving your car, you're listening to something random. Like, what's a random artist that you love?
Shit, man, it's old school, but
like, are you listening to like some like Shania Twain or some random shit that we would never expect?
no, but I'll bump Culture Club.
There you go.
I will bump Culture Club. Yeah, they got hits.
Tumble for you.
Yeah, they got hits. You know what I mean? So I guess that would be some people wouldn't think, but yeah, Culture Club, they bang.
If you could work with any artist or band from any genre, not rap, from all decades, who would it be that you haven't worked with yet?
Man,
like anything from Beatles to
Dead or Alive.
Yeah, Dead or Alive.
Bob Marley.
Bob Marley. That's
it's
such a
I love
perfect
to do a
answer.
song with Bob Marley. Yeah,
I
he's
gotta
one
know,
of my
too.
all-time favorites.
Besides yourself, best rapper of all time, go.
Wow.
Top
I mean,
three.
it's hard to beat Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
It's just hard. Lil Wayne, I just think he, is
His brain's on
great.
another level, man.
Yeah, exactly. His metaphors are, otherworldly. So
And talking about writing, I hear he doesn't write shit down. It's all, he's in the booth, no pad, no pen, just going.
just an amazing talent, as far as lyrics and can make hits, has been, copied and, all these dudes are nothing but clones of Lil Wayne at the end of the day. And so I just think he, besides myself,
Of course.
I've done so much for the culture, but yeah, he's dope.
That's awesome.
Who won, like, because I'm a big West Coast hip hop guy, right? So it's gone through so many phases, because there's obviously you guys that start out, and then there's Tupac's and the Snoops of the world. Then you got like Game, Nipsey, and then you go Kendrick, Dom Kennedy, Schoolboy Q, and now you have like Shoreline Mafia, 03 Greedo. Like, who interests you today on the West Coast that maybe people don't know about at this point?
I don't know. I don't keep up like that no more. You know what I mean? I'm doing so many different things. My son's got to let me know who from where, because everybody using that damn auto tunes.
Yep.
And I can't I don't know who from where. It's like everybody sound the exact same. So I just ain't up on it like that. Just because I got, I'm an octopus right now.
You are.
I just,
Yeah.
maybe I should care enough. I don't care enough.
You don't have to. You're a legend.
Hey, I mean, I wish I did know everything that was popping at every moment. But, at a certain point, you start to focus on your future and the future of your kids. Now I got a granddaughter, so
Congrats.
thinking of her future. Appreciate it.
So I had a list. I do this with a lot of my interviews. Could be athlete, whoever, just rapid fire questions. You just brought up you got a granddaughter now. One thing I like to do when we have, it could be Brian Urlacher or whoever in the office, is kind of bring them to a human level because we're in the midst of an A-lister, obviously. What's the most pissed off on a dad level you've ever gotten at O'Shea, your son? Just like, he fucking left the car running and I don't know, something stupid.
I mean, he got arrested. You know what I mean?
My
he
dad
got
had to pick
arrested.
me up from the clink twice.
Yeah, so I was mad at him about it because, I told him about it and he didn't listen and, it happens, but he didn't know I was that mad at him. You know what I mean? Because when my kids get in trouble, I want them to call me. I don't want them to be thinking I need to figure out how to not let him know this happened. I want him to call me. So I didn't trip, but his mama know how mad I was. I mean, me and her we was talking about it. She was mad too. So,
speaking of your son, I was just watching Obi-Wan Kenobi. What a surprise,
dude!
Yeah.
I was like, yo, that's fucking my shit. That's so sick.
It is, man. I grew up a fan of those movies. As a kid, like. Star Wars came out in 1977. I was 8. So you got to know that was a crazy impression on me. Yeah. I grew up loving Godzilla and all these. And he did too. So I'm like, I'm the one put him on Star Wars, Godzilla, you know what I mean? And funny story, he was real young when Jurassic Park came out. And that was back when you could still go to a drive-in.
I saw it at a drive-in in '93.
Last day you can go to a drive-in. So we take him to see Jurassic Park at the drive-in, and he's probably 4 years old. We in the same kind of car that's in the movie. They in the Expedition or something. You know what I mean? Eddie Bauer, whatever they are. We in the same car, same color, green. And we watching the movie, and when the dinosaurs start to trip out, he's looking around, he's seeing these trees, and he's seeing, and he was just like, drive, daddy, drive.
Must go faster, must go faster.
What? Drive. He's like, you ready to leave? Yeah, drive. I guess we leaving. We just left the movie right there, and I had to go.
That's the kind of shit
it got
I'm looking
too real
for.
in the field for him. So long story short, he now he's in these movies. He's calling me like, man, this is Godzilla skin. He's like, man, I just he hit me. He said we're flying through the galaxy right now. I have a young Princess Leia on my ship with Darth Vader chasing us. I'm like,
dude, that's
you living the life, dude. You living the life. Yeah.
Just watched that episode last night. Oh my God, that's incredible.
What's a movie or a script that you passed on that you wish you didn't?
I would say Menace to Society.
That's a big one.
Yeah, I had a shot to do Old Dog. Even though I think Lorenz Tate killed it, I just didn't want to be typecast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, just did Boys in the Hood. They just going to have me the L.A. gangbanger, every damn movie, and that was like the second movie I got offered. So I was like, man, I don't want to play that. And then I ended up doing Trespass with Ice-T and play Savon, which was a crazy ass, St. Louis gangbanger. I'm like, damn, I gotta get out of here. You know what I'm saying? So that was one movie that when I saw it, I was like, ooh, that role was cold.
I gotta say, your comedy roles.
They've been great.
21 Jump Street is one of my favorite roles.
Yeah.
That's one of the funniest roles and characters is that guy in 21 Jump Street.
Captain Dixon. Captain Dixon, yeah. I just wanted to be, we grew up watching, black, mad sergeants and shit in every damn show. Just mad sergeant. I'm like, I want to be the maddest and the craziest. Like, I want to be up there.
Time for your problems.
Yeah.
Is it bad that I love your music so much, but when they told us Ice Cube was coming on, my first thought was stop fucking with Korean Jesus. He's got Korean shit to worry about.
Korean shit to worry about. Yeah. That's cool. You know, that's what it's all about, man. You know, I love to laugh. You know, some of my friends are the funniest people I know, and they keep me laughing. We always thinking of crazy stuff. You know, me and DJ Pooh, we doing music together, but we also in the studio, like, looking at Hollywood Shuffle, In Living Color, just laughing, thinking of skits and shit, doing crazy videos, you know. And so comedy has always been a part of my life, you know, just as much as anything else. And so to be able to get in movies and actually produce comedies, you know, it's cool when you make a comedy that makes comedians laugh. You know what I'm saying? So it lets you know, okay, I'm on par with y'all in a lot of different ways. You know? Yeah.
Dude, this has been absolutely an honor, Cube. We can't thank you enough for taking the time out. Everybody, please go check out the Big Three. It's coming everywhere. Where's the next spot we can find the Big Three at?
Right here
Live.
in Chicago,
Yeah, they're
baby.
back this weekend.
We
Yeah,
back
baby.
this weekend. You know what I mean? We at the Credit One Union Arena or Center or
It's UIC Pavilion.
Yeah.
okay,
yeah.
Come on through. We there Saturday and Sunday. Bring the kids, an affordable ticket. You know what I mean? And a lot of fun and some great hoops. And look, if you can't come, check us out on CBS or check us out on DAZN, Vire TV, or the Big Three YouTube channel. We appreciate the support. We're a young league, so we need all the support. And we're trying to grow. You know, the NBA, the finals is just the beginning for us. So that's over. Now it's time to get into the Big Three.
Speaking of the NBA, what's wrong with your Lakers, man?
The Lakers will be all right. You know, it happens. You know, I've seen this happen where we bring in too many superstars at the same time.
Too many cooks in the
Your
kitchen.
man Gary Payton.
Karl Malone.
GP
back
Karl
in the day.
Malone, yeah. So, you know, it happens. Even if they played another year together, I think they would do way better than they did this year, you know, even go deep into the playoffs.
I don't think you could get worse.
I don't think so either.
So I'm
You know.
I'm a Boston guy.
Yeah.
I wanted to wait till the end to tell you this. I have burning question. I always ask Laker fans.
Come with it.
Why do you guys claim to have 17 championships when you've only won 11 in LA?
Because the Lakers is it's the same organization.
I know, but
It's-
you really
it's
count
one
those
champion.
6 from Minneapolis?
Yeah, I do. Why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
I mean, this the same Laker organization. They are a championship organization that moved to Los Angeles. Can I ask you a question?
Fire away.
Why do you guys celebrate the One Ring Dynasty
You know what? You know what?
as a Big Three?
That's my beef with Doc Rivers, man. I know he's a nice guy, great guy, but he blew. I mean, they should have won 3 out of 4 those
Shoulda,
years.
coulda, woulda. It's
Don't
still
talk to me about
a
Doc Rivers. I
one-ring
got the Doc Rivers
dynasty.
problem now.
And you guys run around like they, you know, won like Russell Havlicek or something, man.
I know you're right. Shoulda, coulda.
Woulda.
You're right.
Oh man, Cube. I do have one last question. I skipped this for some reason. Did you see the Rolling Stone top 200 rap albums list?
I forgot
No.
to bring this up too. Oh my God, you
No.
puke all over
Okay,
this
so
desk.
your first record that would be on there. So it's the top 200 of all time. Where would you assume you would come in at with between NWA and Ice Cube?
It's the Rolling Stones. Who knows? I don't give them
yeah,
much
that's
credit.
the right answer.
Exactly.
What number was it?
NWA was 49,
It's just it's unbelievable, man.
and America's
Yeah.
Most Wanted was 58.
Trash.
Wow.
Trash.
You know,
They also said that we're in the golden era of hip hop right now.
Oh, get out of my face.
what? No, the golden era was
That's
definitely the 90s.
100.
Without a doubt, right?
And you know what they say about opinions?
Everyone has one.
They're like assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has one, and they all stink.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh
Amen.
my god! And that's how we're wrapping this shit up, dude. Ice Cube, thank you so much for being here today, man. Your seat is always welcome. Come back whenever. Thank you so much for being here, man.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all, man.
Big three. Yes! My goodness! Yeah. Big three. Come on. Yeah. Three. Now that's a magic number. Got the homies balling out for the whole damn summer in that 4-point circle with that ghost ball of purple. If you check the roster, got a 3-hand monster. Now them killer threes are like killer bees. Start dropping threes like trilogies, like companies, like PIGs. Got them ball hogs hogging that 3-on-3. We got the power to do it BIG. We got Tri-State coached by the DOC, so don't hate on Lisa Leslie the Great. It's Nancy Lieberman, head coach, leading man. We got new teams, we got new schemes. We got bivouacs, aliens, and enemies. And they coached by the glove, commissions the glide. Coached by the oak, coached by the Iceman. No fight, 10 had to warn Rick Mahorn. They told Rick Barry half court looks scary, but it ain't. Unless you caught in the paint. On the give it go with ISO Joe. If you wanna bring the fire, it burn you slow. This is Fireball 3 and that's Swaggy P. Cause we taking the summer and displaying the best. It's the Big 3 on CBS.